Rosed FC, great to be here. Now, sorry we're late this week. That is entirely my fault. We were booked to record, and I got home, and my goodness, my kids decided that was not happening, and instead they were going to... God help me. Anyway, Ed Cavalier here, excited. James Dodd, hello, mates.
Hello, mate. I must say, I couldn't make last week's bonus episode, but I did very much enjoy listening to you excel the virtues of Internazionale.
We're the best.
The showpiece event.
We've got some news. We've got some news. When Adam gets here, we've got some news. Adam's on his way, so quote, on a call. So we've got some news about that. Now, we've also got a quiz, which is exciting. But just before Adam gets here, here he is. Adam, Mr. Peacock, welcome.
Timing.
Oh, great timing.
Sorry I'm late.
No, that's all right. We're here. This is. I was just saying to James, it was my fault we're late. My children's fault, but apparently not meant to blame them for stuff. But we're all here now, which is great. So, now a bit going on. We've got a quiz, which is great. Now, I don't want to wait for the quiz. Can we start with the quiz?
We can start with the quiz. Yeah,
right.
we can start with the quiz if you want.
Great. Yes, please.
So the rules are: it's not going to be fastest name first. Jot down your answers.
Jot
okay.
down. Wow. Okay. Luckily, I've got
a twist.
Luckily, I've got some lilac post-its and a pen.
I've got some scrap paper somewhere. Hang on.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Absolutely right. I've got some
do it on the
Patriot flyers, which I'm happy to.
Should I do it on the back of my tax assessment for 2024? Maybe not.
God,
Was that the trumpet flyers? Is that the official branded letterheads?
Yeah, they
From
have
Sue Ellen.
They have made. Yeah, tax got to pay that today. Jeez Louise. Tell you what, don't live in Victoria. Anyone, if you're thinking about it, don't do it.
I was going to ask you, actually. I was listening to bear in mind I work for the A-League, as people will know.
Yep.
I was listening to somebody the other day on another podcast discussing Tarneet
Oh, yeah?
and the area and how big they think it's going to be and why Western United, the Western Melbourne group, bought into it. Are you near that area?
I'm not, but I'm friends with Steve Horvath, who obviously former Socceroo, who was one of the owners, who sold to this group. If they do the things they're talking about, it's already an area that's, a growth area. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. So, well done to all involved. And I, for one, I think we do need another shooting range. And I'm excited that's part. I'm excited that's part of what we're doing there. And I'm like you, Adam. I don't think you can have enough paintball in an area. And
no.
So I'm certainly not urban based. So I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
Burnt out cars, the fellas.
Burnt out car. The burnt out car. So the streets of West Sydney are alive with the smell of burnt out Mercedes.
Yeah.
Is there any Mercedes that aren't burnt out in Western Sydney as we speak?
Oh,
They're just
no.
all being burnt out.
No, just the odd one or two. The odd
And they don't
Range
discriminate.
Rover too. So.
Yeah, it's Range Rover as well. The criminal's choice that is in Essex, in England, the Range Rover. If you've ever seen any Guy Ritchie film or anything else.
Was that
One thing I was going to say about not necessarily the gangland wars of Western Melbourne or Western
Please, have a
Sydney.
go.
Did you see the Asaya war has now kicked off?
Yeah, there's two. There's two. There's the Sahi and also tobacco. So, yeah, illegal
They've gone old
tobacco
school.
shipped in, and then they go and sell it in these nondescript places without any kind of window dressing at all. Some of them actually have blacked out windows. You walk in, you go, I can buy some tobacco here. It's unreal. It's a convenience store front.
It sounds very familiar with that process.
But how it's working when in your local area, you're part of it, in your local area, when you see Winchester brand cigarette packets thrown on the ground. They seem to be the packet of choice for the illicit tobacco trade.
Yeah.
A big shout out to all of those involved.
Yeah, I hope you're doing well.
Right,
Yep.
Are we ready for the quiz?
Yes.
Okay, so we are recording this on Thursday the 15th of May. This was supposed to be recorded on Tuesday the 13th of May. So all of these questions are related to the date,
Good one.
the 13th of May in football history. So write down your answer. I'll give you a clue as and when you need them, because I think some of them you will need a clue.
How many, by the way?
There are
I like to put my numbers down.
eight questions. Right, are we ready?
Go.
Okay, starting off in May 13th, 1902.
Oh, my God.
Which footballing rivals played their first competitive match on this day? And I'll give you a bonus point if you can tell me the score. So you don't have to answer now, jot it down, we'll come back to it. So May 13th, 1902. Which footballing rivals played their first competitive match on this date? Bonus point for the correct score.
Cool.
Question 2. Which player joined Aston Villa from Liverpool on the 13th of May 1997 for a then club record fee of £7 million
It went to Aston Villa from
Liverpool. 13th of May 1997. Club record £7 million is what Villa forked out for said player.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. Do I know? I might know. Okay, Villa.
Question 3. This is the 13th of May 1998. Chelsea won the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup, beating VfB Stuttgart 1-0. Stuttgart. Who scored for Chelsea in this game?
What year?
98.
13th of May 1998.
No, it's down out of 2.
And this is a clue that won't really give too much away, but the player had just come off the bench before scoring.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, question 4. 13th of May 2006. One of the great FA Cup finals between Liverpool and West Ham United. 3-3 finish before Liverpool won it on pens. Which Australian was on the pitch that day?
What year?
2006.
What, Jack, you said the West Ham one? Oh, yeah. West Ham versus Liverpool.
West Ham Liverpool 3-3 is how it finished. An absolute cracker. Steven Gerrard scored that long-range bomb to take it into extra time.
Yep.
Which Aussie was on the pitch that day?
Okay. Yep.
Question 5. 13th of May 2012. You'll all know it for Aguero!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're going to do it? Okay, cool.
But who, gentlemen, provided the assist for Sergio Aguero that day?
I swear.
The only assist this player got in his Manchester City career.
That's amazing. I swear you'll
think
never
you own
see
his
anything
kid.
like this again.
Ed.
Yeah, well, one of us said, yeah. I swear you'll never see anything like this again. Drink it in. Drink it in.
Okay, that was an easy one. This is the 13th of May 2018. Who took charge of a Premier League game for the final time? 13th of May 2018. Who took charge of a Premier League game for the last time? These aren't all about Premier League, by the way, for our listeners here. And
But it's got an
Wow.
international
Australia.
flavour to it, all the answers. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
Okay.
I've written down one Englishman here.
Question 7. Penultimate question. Which player, who is technically the second most expensive footballer of all time, if you add up his transfer fees, was born on this day, the 13th?
Oh, this is a trick question.
We have a
Second
year
most,
that he was
yes.
born in?
Yeah, I did have the year. He's like 31 now. 31, 32.
Yeah, because he's someone said, yeah, the transfer fees.
Another
Right.
player, Ed, I reckon he has his shirt. I reckon, Ed, in his wardrobe.
Now, this question is worth 3 points because it's a hard one. And I'll give you a series of clues and then you can ask for an additional one later, right? 13th of May 1927. Which big name club that often competes in the Champions League was formed 98 years ago on Tuesday? So, a couple of clues just to help you on your way here. One of the best players to have ever played in the A-League played for them for quite a few years.
Yeah, I got it now. Yep. Okay.
They've won the most championships in their country.
Yeah.
And this country's most famous player was a striker for the club. He's the all-time leading goal scorer at international level.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Oh, twist.
Yeah, no.
Twist
I
for
got you now.
Cavalier.
No, now you got me. I got it now. Thanks.
One of the greatest players in the A-League. Can you just go over those?
Yep.
Sorry.
So one of the greatest players that's ever played in the A-League,
Yep.
played for this club
Yep.
for quite a decent chunk of time.
Yep.
They've won the most domestic championships, league titles in their country's history, and one of the country's greatest, arguably the country's greatest ever footballer produced, played for this club. He's also the leading goal scorer at international level. Play along at home as well, by the way. Let us know how you get on.
All right. Let's go.
So, you ready to go? Right. Starting off May 13th, 1902, which footballing rivals played their first competitive match this day? Who wants to give me an answer?
I went Arsenal, Tottenham.
Incorrect.
I thought it was international teams. Shit. I'm in trouble then. What year? Sorry?
1902.
It'll be... don't know.
And it was very fitting because I looked at this date and I was like, oh, they played at the weekend. It was the first ever El Clasico.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Real Madrid and Barcelona. Barcelona had already been formed 2 years before. They played Madrid FC and Barca won 3-1.
Wow.
Our Irishman Arthur Johnson scored the
Isn't that
first ever
great?
goal.
Isn't that great? That's a great bit of
I
trivia.
was going to go Newcastle Jets, Central Coast Mariners, but that was my second choice.
Second choice. Okay,
There
that's
we go.
a beauty.
Neil Poir. Which player joined Aston Villa from Liverpool May 13th, 1997 for a club record $7 million?
This screwed me. I've no idea.
No clue here. Absolutely no clue. Dublin?
No.
No, didn't play for
Adam,
Liverpool.
so neither of you got it right. Adam, he scored against your team in a 4-3 win for them, a 4-3 loss for you.
Stanley.
Stanley Victor Collymore.
Oh, Stan Collymore.
Man I spent many a working year with.
Where is Stan now? Has he come back again, or is he still ranting on Twitter and that's kind of costing him mainstream media appeal?
I think he works for... I spoke to him not too long ago, and he does a bit in France now, I think, and he's
Oh, yes, he does.
guy there.
Yeah, that's
For
right.
Canal Plus
I
maybe or
heard
something.
someone. Yeah, I heard on a show. Yes, I heard on a show somewhere that they mentioned his name as a pundit there, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's right. Oh, that's good.
Had many experiences with Stanley Victor over the years.
Jeez, I'd love him to come on.
Yeah, he would come on.
Oh,
Yeah, he would definitely come
I
on.
love Stanley Victor. I love that guy.
May 13th, 1998. Chelsea won the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup, beating Stuttgart 1-0. Who scored?
Dan Petrescu?
Dan's Pet Rescue? No, it wasn't him.
Dan's Pet Rescue. Kazaragi?
No. Gianfranco Zola.
Ah, damn it. I should have had that.
I initially had Vialli down, and then you said he
Famo
came off the
Vialli,
bench.
and then when you said bench, I scrubbed him out too. Ah.
This is going well. 0 from 3.
Okay.
I like it though. It's
You should
good.
get this one.
Yeah.
13th of May 2006, FA Cup final between Liverpool and West Ham. Which Australian was on the pitch that day?
Lucas Neal.
Harry Kewell.
Harry Kewell. Got subbed in the 46th
I
minute.
had that. I had that.
And then he was in a rush to get ready for the World Cup, which he did, and then he got a really bad infection in his foot, and he was ruled out of the round of 16 one. So
There
anyway,
we go. Okay. Who provided the assist for Sergio Aguero on the
Balotelli.
title day?
Mario Balotelli.
Mario Balotelli.
Do you have a Balotelli interkit?
Nah,
No?
I'm not a Balotelli guy.
Okay. Sorry.
He was...
Glad I brought it up.
Was he number 45 did he wear?
There
Is he said it because
there
he
is,
makes
but I
up
can't
nine or
remember.
something?
No, I can't remember. There's a reason, but I can't remember.
The disdain that Ed is speaking with right now
Yeah.
speaks volumes of his disdain for Mario Balotelli. What if he signed in the A-League yet? Would you go and watch him?
No,
Western?
I'm back on board. That's
Okay.
yeah.
Good. He's
I
back.
don't. My positions are fluid. That's the
Home
case.
Park Fields, Mario Balotelli.
You know, I'm a guest player guy. I think the Club World Cup is about to start the rebirth of the guest player.
Of the guest
and
player,
and I think it's a great idea.
Well, then should all 32 teams have a guest player spot as
They
part of
talked
their
about it.
roster?
They actually talked about it.
Yeah.
Well, essentially, Alexander Arnold's going to do that because Madrid will have to pay. Liverpool will have to pay like a nominal fee for him to register early, which they're going to do.
Because they've got a mini window. They've got a week-long
so
window
I think
before it.
I think it's, you know, people go on and on about this Club World Cup, but I'm like, one of the best things about it is this mini window, and I think we're going to get some pretty fun players rocking up for teams.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree.
All
Hopefully.
for it. Mario Balotelli in the A-League. Let's go. 13th of May, 2018. Who took charge of a Premier League game for the very last time?
Arsene Wenger.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, I have been. Yep.
Yep. So 3-2 at the
Wow.
moment to Adam. Now, the last two. This is where I think points can be won and lost here. Which player, who is technically the second most expensive footballer of all time, if you add up his transfer fees, was born on this day? So he's 32 now.
Lukaku?
Very good. Romelu Lukaku.
Got Lukaku too. Sorry, Ed.
4-3. Right. Remember, this last question is worth 3 points.
This is a hard one.
So this was a hard one. So 13th of May 1927, which big name club that often competes in the Champions League was formed 98 years ago on Tuesday? So the clues were one of the best players to have ever played in the A-League played for them for many years. They've won the most championships in the country, league titles. This country's most famous player was a striker for this club, all-time leading goal scorer for his nation.
That got me.
He's also, I can give you a couple more clues, but do you
That got
think you
me.
know who it is?
The club.
Yeah.
I think that last one got me because I thought I had it, and then I was like, wait, all-time leading scorer for his. Hang on,
I've gone Juventus.
I said Juventus as well.
No, both incorrect.
Yeah,
Would you like
because
another...
Del Piero is not Italy's all-time leading
No,
scorer.
exactly. That's what
So
threw
I
me.
will be willing to be. I will be generous because I have 2 more clues that I can give you,
Yeah,
Okay.
and you can have another
yeah,
stab
yeah,
at it.
yeah.
Oh, thanks, James.
So he is one of only 3 men to have won a Ballon d'Or playing for or being of this nationality,
Right.
and his Ballon d'Or came in the early 2000s.
It's the all-time leading scorer. It's killing me.
Yeah, because he came in, but he played in the A-League.
Well, no. A player for this club played in the A-League.
I thought you meant this player played in the A-League.
Sorry,
No,
that's
so one of the
that's
best
what's
players to have ever played in the A-League played for this club
this
for many
club.
years.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Now I'm
Far
sorry.
out now.
Losing my
Jesus
freaking mind.
Christ,
Robbie,
you've changed the whole thing. Go.
it's all right. But
Sakes.
is the national team's leading scorer?
Yes, correct.
Even that I should get.
So yeah, so the clues are a player who played in the A-League, one of the best ever players to have played in the A-League.
Imagine if you're the listener who got
Shane
this 5 minutes
Smeltz?
ago.
Shane Smeltz.
How many 3 Kiwis have won a Ballon d'Or?
Yeah, so far,
Chris Woods
as far as I
obviously doing
know.
it.
Woodsy.
All right, I'll give you one more clue.
The big-
He's only had 2 managerial jobs. One of them was Genoa. So this is the player. He's a legend at the club. Because if I give you too many clues about the club, it's too obvious.
Genoa.
It's the all-time leading scorer for his country that's killing me. That's countries that have won Ballon d'Or. So the Brazilians have won it. Brazilians have won it, but Brazilians have won it. Croatians have won it. Italians have won it. Spanish have won it.
I'm going to go Brazilian club, Fluminense.
Okay, you're locking in Fluminense?
Yeah, I don't know
Hang
why.
on. Yeah, right. I'm going to go Vasco da Gama.
No. Dynamo Kiev.
Who is it?
Wow.
So Milos Ninkovic
Ninko, yeah.
played for Dynamo Kiev before. They've won the most league titles. The country's most famous player was a striker for this club, Andrei Shevchenko.
Oh, right. And he's the leading scorer.
Shevchenko. Yeah.
Andrei, all-time leading goal scorer for Ukraine.
Right.
He's also one of 3 Ukrainians to have won the Ballon d'Or.
Who are the
Which
other
I'm
two?
quite surprised about.
Yeah, I didn't
And he
know.
married.
You realise Andrei Shevchenko is good mates with Shane Warne?
Wow.
No, did not know that.
That's a 10-point question.
There you go.
So there we go. 4-3. And
Bonded through
Peacock.
poker. Yeah.
Campion.
Oh, through poker. Yeah, that makes sense. Go on.
Thank you.
Oh, well done.
Move
So-
on to our topics this week. Great,
Yeah.
great quiz, James.
That was
I love
great.
it.
It was really fun. Thank
I mean,
you.
I especially love the part where the listener might have been able to get that question 8 early on and basically sitting there listening to 5 people think about something that 3
was
people
struggling.
think that they
Still
knew
don't
the
know.
answer to. Anyway, it's great radio.
But if people want us to quiz, we can quiz during the off season when all the football stops
Yeah.
for a bit.
It never stops. Football Club World Cup. We're here forever. All right, Mr. Peacock, what's going on?
Ligue 1. Ligue 1 have looked at the A-League and gone, we want a piece of your postseason action.
Yeah,
I
what
read
is
this.
happening? Yeah.
So they want. There's rumours. So Damien Comoli, the ex-sporting director of Spurs and also Liverpool, he's now at Toulouse, and he's apparently come up with the idea, which is gaining traction in France, according to L'Equipe, that at the end of the French First Division season, Ligue 1, they're going to have a little 4-team playoff to decide who will be champions. So they do this in the women's side of things. That's why Joe Montemurro,
so
I understand,
Okay,
is,
okay.
like it's been delayed and delayed and delayed, his impending announcement as a Matilda's boss, because he's at Lyon at the moment, the women's. But yeah, I just look at that and go, yeah, that's great in principle. However, do you reckon PSG, who have won 83 of the previous 84 or whatever it is championships, they're going to put their hands up and go, yeah, you know what? We'll give up our right to win the league by 20 points and go into a bit of lotto at the end of the season. Can't see it
How does
happening.
it work in How does it work in France? Is it the 14? What's the voting? Because it's the voting that is key, and because PSG can't use the "we'll take away your TV deal" threat anymore because they already have.
Yeah.
So they can't use the Qatari prop up of that as the threat. And now they've got the Louis Vuitton billionaire next door being like, that's not Paris, this is Paris. So
Literally next door.
yeah, if the voting structure is they're a chance to lose that, and that's why everyone would vote for it. This would be the best if this happened.
So my extensive research, which extends to doing a Google search and doing a lot of reading about it, tells me that they're going through a restructure with their governance model at the moment, the French, and they're looking at potentially a Premier League model for the top division alone so that they can decide their own fate. At the moment, it seems like the top 2 divisions are lumped in.
Right.
So then
With
that
the FA,
voting,
isn't it? The French FA are kind of
they're around it. And
guardians.
they
or
did away with their League Cup, but they want to bring that back without the Champions League teams. So that's another rumour going around. But I mean, does this crumble or take away or fade the very rich tapestry or fabric or something to do with clothing about how championships are decided? I feel like first past the post in a 30-game plus season must be the deserved champions, and if they want to add this on, maybe it's a good idea to replace this advent of a Super Cup, which Italy have introduced, Spain have it as well, that they play in January in some Middle Eastern state which want to pay big dollars to get their players there.
Yeah, unless they don't like
wonder
the
which
teams.
one that would be.
But unless they don't like the teams. So the cup final for Italy, which AC thankfully lost recently, Bologna beat them
This morning.
Our time this morning. So that means that like Saudi Arabia don't want Bologna there. Like it's like, guys, we don't want Bologna.
Yeah,
So-
Empoli were deep in that as well. So it's
Yeah, and
Bologna,
now we're looking
Empoli.
like,
It's like,
what are we
no.
going to do here? They're going
Same
to
as in Spain. They had
Yeah.
Real Mallorca as part of it, and it's not. Yeah, as long as they get their Classico, that's all they care about.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not
So you have to try and
engineer it
away.
essentially.
So, I really hope the Paris FC thing forces like change like this, because it does seem as though France. Look, the A-League final series is great. I don't care what anyone says. It's great. The games last week were really good. The games this week are I'm really excited. It's really fun. The fans are really into it. It's great. It's really good.
The The best moments in the history of the A-League have all basically come in grand finals or semi-finals. I was there the night that Brisbane Roar led and got done by Western Sydney Wanderers 5-4.
5-4.
Never forget that game. So, but the big moments are the grand finals. And, okay, it's not ideal, but people go, oh, well, back in the day of the NSL. Well, back in the day in the NSL, they used to have grand finals as well.
And they're amazing.
Ange and South Melbourne.
And I
Fantastic
challenge
grand
anyone
finals.
to go and watch YouTube of those games, which they've got, and not be like, this is
Proper. So, yeah, I think there will be... The French don't mind a protest, do they, James? So I dare say that they could have
Get
a
the
few
trucks
issues
out.
getting this through.
trucks out.
But it's a wild old story, and look, it feels like it's years off because they have to go through this governance structure change and all of those
so
things.
what? The fact is that they're looking at... The fact is the A-League is catching on. We've got sick real estate deals. We got... we're leading
We
the
do.
chart. This is just... I'm loving it. We're at the vanguard now. This is what we want.
It does speak to how the global consensus now, and I guess probably if you ask French football fans that don't support Paris Saint-Germain, that might support Lyon
It's hopeless.
or
Yeah.
It's a
Marseille
hopeless task.
or Auxerre, like it feels as though the sheer dominance
Yeah.
has killed that league.
The rug has been pulled. Everyone
It's
knows.
basically killed it. And I remember growing up when it was Lyon, when Lyon were the dominant team, and they had Karim Benzema and I think Bafétimbi Gomis, and they had the two
Juninho.
Michael Essien. Yeah, Juninho was there. Like
They
they were
but
really dominant, but then they
Nantes-
kind of faded.
Yeah, but Nantes had to go, and then there was Guy Roux with his Auxerre team, just with the
Yeah.
tightest shirts ever. They were. It was always.
Montpellier won it one year.
Yeah, they
didn't
had stuff going on.
Would you rather, if they did a Final Four, so to speak, would you rather it like a mini competition, everyone play each other once in a neutral venue and have a big week and a half celebration of football, or just pure knockout, 1v4, 2v3 final winner?
Knockout.
Knockout? It's a knockout. Billy J. Smith.
Oh my
You
God,
did.
he's fallen over.
Hey.
It was so unfair because every week on It's a Knockout, right? It would be.
He's so confused now.
No, well, he can learn. He can. I'll find him in a second. So, what would happen was because they had the royal version in England. That's what you're thinking of, the charity royal versions. With Prince Andrew, he's like, I'll do the juniors. I'm like, no, mate. So they go, I'll do the under 19s. No, mate. So
It's a Pizza Express.
no, mate, no, I won't. No, just do, mate. So they.
Wow.
The point of that was that every week it was unfair at him because they go, it's the team from Queensland. He's Thomas Smith is a baker, and Chantel Faruna is an aerobics instructor. And you go, okay, cool. And then they go, okay, the team from New South Wales. James Tarkovsky is a professional truck driver, and their partner today, Evie Benet, is a florist. And you go, yeah, cool. And then go, the team from South Australia. Thomas Noschek is a powerlifting champion and firefighter, and his partner Daniel Werner is the strongest fucking man in the world. And there would be these two just units from South Australia. No one had a chance. No one had a chance. It was so... Not that I'm still thinking about it, but...
No,
You know,
no, not at all. Not giving
Paris
a moment
Saint-Germain
thought.
or South Australia.
the
in
South
this.
Australian... Just quickly, the best part of the year, it's when we're in the silly season for football. So this is PSV.
Ajax.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
this
they-
was PSV after they'd already won this morning. Ajax, I was doing some reading on this because I don't really follow the Eredivisie too much.
That's good.
So Ajax were playing Groningen,
Yeah.
and a win for them would have sent them 2 points clear on the final day of the season, going into the final game of the season.
Yeah.
So PSV had already won. All the fans stayed behind in the
So
stadium.
that's
Ajax.
after. This is
Yeah,
before.
Ajax was
Look,
still
the grounds
playing.
look, everyone's bummed out. People are on their phones.
And they're going. So Ajax were leading Groningen 2-1
Oh my
at
goodness.
this point. Groningen
Yeah.
were down to 10 men.
Yeah.
And then they equalised in the 99th minute to draw 2-2 and therefore send PSV or keep PSV top of the league, so it's in their own hands on the final day of the season. It's brilliant.
Final day
Yeah,
of the
here we go.
season.
Hang on. Yeah! This is the silly season. This is where football comes into its own because there's that, and then the other one you sent me, which has to be watched.
So Ajax play Twente and
Steve
PSV.
McLaren's team.
Scooter. And PSV have got Sparta Rotterdam. That's not easy. So
Yeah. All right, but then this is the other. So you
Oh.
sent me this as well. So Sunderland. This is the Sunderland commentary.
The
of
shrieking.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Here we go. This is good stuff. There's a corner.
Sunderland
YouTube,
Radio.
You can see it. So here we go. So Sunderland Radio.
Lefebvre takes the corner.
Seagull on ecstasy.
Chips! It's amazing.
Football. Poor old Frank Lampard.
Yeah. You know what? The first thing I could think of.
One beach ball. There's always one beach ball. It's just the best feeling that someone's held it for that long.
Darren Bent remembers it well.
Beach ball at that ground.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
It was a
Remember?
background. Yeah, it was.
Frank Lampard got accosted by a Sunderland fan who ran up to him apparently and just chucked us. Didn't want to give him any grief or anything. Just wanted a selfie with him, big smiling face.
During
Oh,
when
that's
they
awful.
lost, that hurts.
That's awful.
That
On the
hurt.
pitch.
On the pitch.
He ran onto the pitch to get a selfie with Frank after he'd just been knocked
I
out
don't
in the
like
playoff
it.
final.
I don't love it, but I also don't hate it. So I don't know.
Shithouse Reed, it's top level.
All right, here we go. So it's a knockout. We'll come back to that. So just quickly, I'm going to the Champions League final. So I have booked my flights.
Unlike Arsenal. Sorry, James.
Yeah, so I'm an Inter Lions supporter.
We'll get there.
Once in a lifetime opportunity, and I wasn't going to go. And you know, there's tax and school fees, and you should see my son's teeth. And then I just said, that's it. My wonderful friend Michael Luciano, who got me into soccer in the 90s in Sydney, he's an Inter Milan supporter, and he said, I've got you a ticket. And so I booked flights. I'm doing a less than 2-day round trip to go to Munich to watch the
Good.
game and come back.
So,
And
Superb.
Ed, I tried to do this for the Carabao Cup final and got the look of thunder. Not thunder, just rampant disappointment. And as if to say, why would you do that? What was the reaction when you handed this vital piece of information over to your better half?
two things I had to do. So have you been paying attention on a Sunday? So I had to say to them, hey, I need to miss a week, which I don't. So I normally only miss like 2 a season, I think it is. I can't remember, something like that. Those 2. And it's normally not till much later on to cover, like, and Pang's got to have 6 weeks off because he's got to do 3 minutes at the Logies, the poor dear. Or Tom has to go, just as like a global mansion check. He just goes around his mansions and just kicks out supporters and sort of fix locals. So I said to them, I said, oh, listen, I need, there's an opportunity here. But the key bit was that one of the executive producers and creators of the show is a man called Santo Cialaro. And I went to him and he said, off you go. And those guys are always great, so off I go. So they said, yep, you can have the week off. Beautiful. And then Tiff said, and she was sort of good about it, and I was like, something's going on, like she's really okay with it, I'm like, this is really weird, why is she so happy? And then yesterday it sort of became clear.
And Ed joins us live from the Novotel.
Yeah, it's very nice. The pool's really nice. It's just seems that a family holiday has been declared some pretty soon after that, and it doesn't seem like any expense is going to be spared. So
Maldives.
that seems though.
Flying first class.
I'm already regretting it. I'm already regretting it, and we haven't even lost yet. And now I'm like, why am I doing this? But so Adam, I believe you're going to talk to Stan.
Yes.
And
For a tax write-off.
Yes, tax write-off. But also, can anyone get me a press accreditation?
That I can't help with, unfortunately.
Or can you give me the name of a Stan person? And
Could be on air or off air, either way.
The accreditation
Total
needed to be
pressure
in
on them.
6 months ago.
no, don't worry about that. I'm fresh. So anyway, that's what I'm doing.
Why don't we call in? This is the perfect time for us to call in the favour from our sponsors, our original sponsors, Gazprom.
Are they still part of it?
Well, I think they're still part of the show, yeah.
Well, I can talk to them, but it's a knockout. Just for those. So, game show. Just to illustrate my point. Here come the teams.
With a great chance of making a rich semi-finals by his
New South Wales.
There it is. Look at the size of it.
Yeah, well, he's carrying a bit though. They're not a natural runner. Yeah, Melbourne City, Victoria. Now
This
look at
is
this.
elite.
Yet another contender for
Childhood
Charlotte
viewing,
next week.
James.
John Howard. Consistency
Yeah.
is not
Queensland's so bad they've got the mascot out front. The mascot's beating the competitors out.
Clive Palmer's in that.
Here we go.
Every competition has its
Now look
backers
at
and the
this
teams
unit
of the
coming out for
festival
South Australia, and the biggest man in the world. He's taller than the grandstand. Look at him. Did you see that? Can't beat that. It was every week.
Look at it. There's Billy
Also,
Dustin.
I like just an insight into Ed's YouTube searching there. The US Secret Service YouTube videos down right-hand side.
Am I still sharing?
No.
All right. Listen. That's Vince Palomara. If you want to know the Secret Service's involvement in the JFK case and beyond that, Vince Palomara is the man you have to go to. He's the leading expert.
Yeah.
Also, my son at the moment. Oh, also, who really wrote Shakespeare? I've almost cracked that.
Yeah. You're one of those people who don't believe that the Beatles write their own songs, aren't you?
Of course they didn't. Do you want to talk?
Okay.
Mark Devlin has the best of the Sage of Quay. Thank you for asking. Well, now that you bring it up, so they've got 6 weeks to write an album because Paul says in an interview we don't write between albums, right? They can't read music, and somehow they go into a studio with 18 days, 18 days, and record Revolver, one of the greatest album of all time, and then never play any of those songs live, right? you're trying to tell me too? They just came up
They
with it.
didn't perform live after 1966, so it didn't give much
But
time
they never
after Revolver.
did. They had the opportunity. If they were still there. And what about this? When they first go to get a record deal, they've got 10 originals, and Brian Epstein and George Martin say these are good enough. They go, okay. There's maybe one song which is okay, and then they become the greatest musicians of all time. And none of those originals ever appear ever again anywhere.
I mean,
That's not
to be fair,
suspicious at
whoever
all.
did write their lyrics wrote lyrics such as "I am the Eggman, they are the Eggmen, I am the Walrus, Goo Goo Jube."
Yep.
Like,
Yep. It's
I
the
mean-
musicality they make. They can't read music. Anyway,
Change it.
that's not my. That's
It's the late
what
60s. What do you think
the
was
stage
going
of
on?
play. Thank you for bringing it up.
there was
The
a
stage
lot
of
that we now know was going on in the late 60s.
Very true.
To be fair.
Especially, yeah, you got it. All right, well, that's all you need from us today.
Okay. We're done.
Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.
See you
Enjoy.
guys.